We will be at the cabin shortly, but first, these very important messages from Martin. Greetings from my Illinois woodpile. March 21st, the governor told us to stay home, and I agree with that, so I don't have too much trouble with social distancing. A lot of my stuff is out in the woods and pretty much by myself, but I've been chopping up my winter supply of wood. I've got it hauled in. It's all hauled in here, but I need to get it split up. Now, this is going to be a day of kind of like fessing up to some things that you might not understand, but cabin, you always see me swinging that axe. But here in Illinois, I have a friend that I cut wood in his place, and mainly he wants me to spend more time cutting wood and less time splitting, and so he insists that I use his log splitter. So here in Illinois, this is what I'm going to use. And I have even more wood piled over there that I need to split. This is nice oak, and it would split up pretty good with my Fiskars axe, but what I have over there is some called Siberian elm, and this splitter is going to make that into a job that even I can handle. As you can see, I think I've got 8 full cord of wood sitting here that I need to get split up in the next days. So this machine is my go-to. Now, I've done this because I need to break you in slow to some of the other big changes in Martin's life. Everybody's always said that I should get a snowmobile to get into that cabin. And as you saw in the last video, it worked pretty slick and we got talking about it. But Martin's not normal, and people also say that I should have a dog. Well, lo and behold, I did some research and I found a dog that I can have. He can travel up to the cabin with me, and he can help pull my loads in and help me groom tracks around that cabin. So I'm going to let you down easy, and I'll be ready for this. This is going to be a shock, but this is Martin's new dog. Hey, pup. Come on, pup. Come here, dog. Come here, dog. Don't be camera shy. Come on, dog. Come on. Come on. They won't bite. Come on over. So this is my new dog. Kind of like killed 2 birds with 1 stone here for everybody. I got my snowmobile and I got my dog called Snowdog. Big advantage of this is deep snow or whatever, we can even tow another sled back behind this. On my trails, it only needs to be 2 feet between the trees, and so I can sneak through. Don't have to cut any trees down and make my way down a lot of my trails. Now, this is kind of an extravagant for me. This was $3,000. Now, what is Martin doing spending that kind of money? Well, actually, I'm spending the money you gave me. This is a big thank you to all my YouTube fans and people who watch my videos, and you got to click off all those ads that show up down there. Well, the payoff is that they send me money. This last winter, sometimes that video series I had going, they were sending $1,000 a month. So you see, you might say this is your machine, and I want you to come to the cabin in the years up, and you're going to see quite a bit of this, because it's going to be an important part of our transport to get into the cabin and then to pack down the trail so we can actually enjoy our skis rather than have to go out and try to groom a 5-mile trail with a pair of backcountry skis. So thank you. Now we return to our regularly scheduled Saturday morning video from Martin's cabin. This is where all that nonsense got started about having a snowmobile. The influence that Mark had when he came in and showed us how easy that was to come in there and haul all our gear in there and move around and pack down some trails. And then he even called me up a few days later and said, Martin, Google Snowdog. I think it's just what you need. So I'm going to blame Mark for all of this that's happened. These friends are sure pushing me into the 21st century. David with his drone, and he made a visit up there even after we were there to go back and do a few more things. And I must admit, we could just sit there at the cabin and take a little trip out to Hawks Pond whenever we wanted. I must say it gives a whole new meaning into the term dropping into the cabin for a visit. My spruce grouse at my grit station sure don't seem to mind all the company coming around. Hasn't fazed them a bit. There's been 4 of us working out of this cabin the last couple days. Mark just went home, so now we're down to 3. Really, there's only 1 sleeping inside now, 2 sleeping out. That's why the sleeping bags are hanging from the ceiling there. To wintertime camping, they pick up moisture pretty bad, so we bring them in every day and we let them dry out. A little perk of having the cabin here, but for 3 people into a small space, we've stayed pretty well organized. Our trails have packed down so hard that we don't even use our skis much anymore. We've got enough miles of trail for the short week we're going to be here that there's no sense in packing down anymore. We walk these same routes. We've got a lot of birding wise. It's been great. We've got most of the Northland birds as we walked around: the red crossbills, white-winged crossbills, pine thiskins, pine grosbeaks, red-breasted nuthatches. And here, Kevin has seen both the northern three-toed woodpecker and the black-backed, but I haven't been able to spot them yet, so I'm going to be out here and try to put a tape on again and see if I can lure one in. Calls are very distinctive, and when they hammer on the tree, that's really their individual signature. So when you do that, oftentimes especially the male birds will come in because it's a territorial thing. We have modern versions of this little MP3 player that make this a lot easier to do, but I haven't researched and picked one of them up yet, so I'm kind of old school.
Black-backed woodpecker. Three-toed woodpecker.
We'll try someplace else. I spent a lot of time on my last 2 visits here to the cabin working in this trail, smoothing out the holes and the high spots, chopping off the little branches that can put your eye out if you slip. And it's been well worth it as we made a lot of trips around this circle. Probably about 1.5 miles on this one. And just great country to come down here and walk with no obstructions. When I was up here around New Year's, that's when I had my vehicle acted up, so I only stayed a day or two. But we walked this trail, and then after that the deer really started to travel. So when we got here, it was a narrow track, but it was really packed down, and now that we've used it, it's really hard packed. So once we leave, this is gonna become a super highway for the snowshoe hare, the white-tailed deer, and of course the wolves. When I was here last time, I left one of my trail cameras further along this trail, and when I came back, I had a lot of white-tailed deer coming across the lens, and a few really nice surprises, which I'll show you. On those wolf shots, I was a little bit curious, so I went back and I checked the date stamps of when those pictures were taken compared to when the deer had gone by. And it was obvious those wolves were not on the hot track of any deer. There'd been no deer by for a while, but I was just wondering if I'd have a shot of what we would call a dead deer walking, but they were not around at all when the wolves came by. This is one of my favorite stops along this particular trail. We're under the canopy of these big white pine and Norway pine, which are also called red pine. This is a stand of trees that the original settlers obviously never harvested. And you just don't come across trees like this very much in the North Country. It took somebody with he probably had a reason. Maybe it was like money in the bank. He always knew he could cut them in hard times. This is another really nice place to slow down and spend a little time. Just stare up at way up in the canopy at the top of these big old white pine trees. A stand like this is extremely rare in Minnesota. It's preserved now, so they'll never be cut, but some don't understand that, but sometimes we just need to let a little timber go the other way. That's the term the loggers use when a tree starts to rot away and it's no longer any good to them. They'll say those trees are going the other way, and a little disgust in their voice. But again, that's their business. But fortunately, the powers that be have the power to rules to step in and say, no, you shall not cut those trees. We're back out on the main trail now, about a half mile from the cabin. Big old cedar tree here. The bears mark it up when they come by. This is how tall I am. The tree's really old and hollow. The woodpeckers have got a few holes in there. As we go back into this is a pretty good grove of really big white cedar. This is a spot I'll always at least slow down for a while. Then I'll head on down the trail.